Morning, everyone. Yeah, phone's a little bit crooked up there. There we go. Yeah, whatever. Morning. Hope you guys are having a good Monday. You know, I'm sitting outside the location where my son comes to for occupational therapy and speech therapy because my son's autistic. Okay, and you know, I love giving motivational speeches from time to time. And I was sitting here, and you know, I'm looking at all the parents and the kids that come out and everything like that. And you know, me being me, I tend to think, you know, about things a lot. Now, my son is 4. All right. He's autistic, nonverbal. He's learning how to talk, but it's one of those things where it might take a while. But he's smart in other areas. He doesn't let his little disability too much limit him. He's hyper as hell, though. Right? And I have a daughter that's like fucking too smart for her fucking age. But it's not about my son having autism. It's about the sperm donors in the world. Now, I've been watching this lady across the street over here outside the building. I had my windows down, but I let them up because I got tired of hearing the conversation on the phone. Because she's loud as fuck. But she has a point. She has a child up here with autism. And she's on the phone right now with the baby daddy. And I heard the baby daddy clean through the phone say, out of all my children, that's not my son. I don't make kids with disabilities. And it got me to thinking. Here I am. I'm 36 years old. I have a son with autism. And no parent wants their child to be bounded with a disability from birth. And it's not so much that it's a disability, it's a learning disability. There are amazing autistic people out there in the world that do amazing things that you wouldn't know have autism. They're high functioning. You know, I'm going through an injury right now in my life. And I don't let certain things like that bother me, keep me down, because it's all about the mindset. And when I look at my children, especially my son, to know that he's already he's in a world that don't understand. He's going to always have to work a little bit harder than others to achieve the success that he you know, sets out to achieve. That keeps me motivated. You know, that keeps me motivated. All right. When I hear fathers, I haven't heard a mom yet do it, but I'm pretty sure some out there. But when I hear fathers, and she's still on the phone there with him. When I hear fathers disown their children, I have no love for a deadbeat motherfucker like that. Because see, that's what's wrong with the world now. It's lagging in fathers. My son means everything to me. My daughter means everything to me. I love my kids more than I love my wife, and my wife loves our children more than she loves me. That's the way it should be. When you have a child with a disability, you need to understand that that's just the way that it is. That's life. You love that child unconditionally. See, here in Georgia, it's been a lot of shit going on with people killing their children with autism, leaving them in closets. A 17-year-old boy right now wanted right here in Clayton County for shooting a 15 or 16-year-old autism boy at the park. Autism kids go missing. They found a couple days later, some of them dead. Parents don't want to have anything to do with them because they don't understand them. They don't have the patience for it. This is where mental health comes into play. And me, suffering from post-traumatic stress from the combat zone, me understanding that it's stress out there with a child that can't communicate verbally, so the child gets frustrated and throw to tantrums. It takes patience. It takes time. The child has to understand. But when I hear a man sit there and say, I don't make children with disabilities, you don't know what child you're going to make. You don't know anything about that child in the womb until the child is born. When a child is then born, and as that child begins to grow from an infant, that's when you'll figure out some things if they are already said at the hospital. It hurts as a parent to see other parents disown their children. My son's in this building right now, doing what he can do to become a better person. So me and him and his mom and his sister can understand. The hardest thing for me as a father was to explain to my daughter when he was about 2 years old, Daddy, brother won't play with me. Brother won't hug me. Brother don't like me. Why brother don't talk? Why brother don't do this? And then she said, I want another brother or sister so they'll play with me. Of course, I can't have any more children. I had a vasectomy after my son was born. And I had to tell my daughter, be patient. Now they play together. They're buddy-buddy. I would kill myself before I disown any one of my children. I don't care if they grow up to like the same sex. I don't care if they grow up and never give me any grandkids. I don't care if they grow up and don't go to college, they won't go to military, wherever. I'm not gonna support them doing bad things in life. But if they're doing some good shit in life, I'm not gonna disown them. And if they do bad shit in life, I'm not gonna disown them, because that's my son. If my son kills someone, my daughter kills someone, and they go to prison for the rest of their life, and they knew that they shouldn't have done it, I still won't disown my children. Because I made them. I'd be mad as fuck at them, but I would never disown my children. We have people that abandon ship the moment it gets too hard, and that what pisses me off. And then to hear dudes that's supposed to be men out there, sperm donor motherfuckers, disown a disabled kid, makes me sick. Now, what's going to happen if that child becomes successful, becomes filthy fucking rich? You know what that daddy going to do then? I tell you, but that's my son. I should be entitled to some of his assets. You are entitled to an ass kicking. And I know some of you might be saying, oh, you just simping. No, I'm a father. I'm a father. I'm a father with a child with a disability. You know, it's autism. I would never disown my child under no circumstance. And if my daughter had it, I'll love her just the same. The world, as we know it, is changing. Kids like this, we should uphold. We should love, not despise. Because your feeble ass mind don't understand what's going on inside their mind. Their mind just overcharged with shit, overstimulation. My son can tell you certain animals right now that the typical 5-year-old couldn't. I can ask him what a goddamn rhinoceros is, he'll point right to it. The average 4 or 5-year-old couldn't tell you what T-Rex is now. Tyrannosaurus Rex couldn't tell you none of that shit right now. If I ask him what asparagus is, he can point to that in the food book. The average 4-year-old couldn't even say asparagus. Love your children is the moral of this. They are our next generation. The reason why the generation is that the way that it is now because of electronics, and dads stop being dads. And I know somebody will say, well, women wanted welfare checks. That might be true, but they wouldn't need welfare checks if niggas and men would be an actual man and not trying to be pimps and players in the fucking streets. You have some vindictive women out there that don't give a fuck they was doing their fucking job. But that's the minority, not the majority. Most men nowadays that's coming up behind me don't know shit because they spend too much time on TikTok and social media. Anyway, I just went you guys with the real. Finna go and get my son and go home and do some recovery training. I did a little bit yesterday. I'm feeling pretty good, feeling a little bit better. Still got some weaknesses here and there, but I'm feeling a little bit better. It hurts my heart, man. And I love my kids unconditionally. It's sad to hear a grown. I heard the dude clean over here on the phone. That one was still on the phone. I don't want to put it on my camera. I'm looking at you on the phone. Why I keep looking over there? And you might can see it through my glasses. You pay attention to my glasses. To hear a dude as plain as day. I had my windows down earlier. Plain as day. Ain't my kid. I don't have kids with disabilities. Sad. Sad. I didn't want to hear the doctor say when my son was 2, I think your son has autism. I didn't want to hear that. I didn't want to believe that. I ain't know what the fuck autism was. What autism? Oh, it's a learning disability. Parts of the brain, where the learning part of the brain, the executive functioning part of the brain, the learning part of the brain, like cognitive part, it's lagging behind. So as he ages, he's going to have a longer time catching up to his age. So let's say he's 4, his mindset might be that of a 3-year-old. He's behind. It takes time to catch his brain. Some kids' brain never mature. It just they'll be 13, they act like they're 7 because they didn't get the help that they needed. And my son's getting the help and he's fighting. That keeps me going. Not making excuses. Looking at my son, knowing what he has to go through. He already has a label on his head. I have a label. I have post-traumatic stress from combat. I don't like telling people that, but people, they label people. He already has a label on his head. He's doomed to fail. But look at what his dad accomplished with post-traumatic stress and everything. Injured, but I'm still fighting. Still fighting for my dream to power lift. Still fighting for my shit. Going back to work today, fighting. I'm trying to put that mentality in my fucking son and my daughter. And they hear a punk-ass man on the phone, probably in his early 20s, whacking off to cartoons and shit, sit up there and say that he don't make kids with disabilities, how stupid he is. That irks me. Love your children. Stay motivated out there. Don't let a weakness hinder you from succeeding in life. That's why I look at my son like a true hero. He's 4, but he's my hero. I might be stern on him, I might be tough with him, but you know what? That's my hero. My daughter is my hero as well because of her being a girl in this day and age. All the hardships she's overcoming, that's my hero too. I love my kids. You parents should hold your kids. Those that are fortunate to have children, love your fucking children. I'm out, guys. I gotta go. Peace.